Good afternoon, members of Parliament, support staff, visitors in the Public Tribune, radio listeners, TV viewers, and those following via social media and members of the media. Welcome to this meeting of the Committee of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment and Infrastructure number 4 for today, Thursday, July 4th, 2024. I also welcome the Minister of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment and Infrastructure, Mr. Patrice Gomes, and his support staff. We've established a quorum of 7 members. Please stand for a moment of silence. I've received notice of absence from the following members: MP Francisco La Cruz, MP Akeem Arundel, and MP Omar Otley. Does any other member of Parliament have any notifications?
I do.
MP Kotai, you have the floor.
Good afternoon to all. Thank you, Madam Chair. To those tuning in as well, good afternoon to my colleagues, Mr. Nichols, Mr. Peterson, Minister Patrice Gomes. Before we get into this meeting, I would just like to make mention of the town area, particularly Front Street and Back Street, being on the load shedding schedule for 3:45 this afternoon. I understand load shedding is necessary at this moment, but this is during business hours, and this can bring a lot of negative factors, increase in crime, reduction of revenue as well. This causes a ripple effect all across the board, so I again advise to logistically plan this load shedding matter in a better way. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Kotai. I see no other need for notifications, so we move on to the agenda point for this meeting, which is discussion regarding the report by TNO entitled The Energie Transitie in Aruba, Curaçao, and St. Martin, IS 827-2023-2024, dated June 18th, 2024. We go over to the agenda point. On June 18, 2024, Member of Parliament MP Sarah Westcott-Williams sent an urgent request to the Committee of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment and Infrastructure for a meeting to discuss the report, The Energie Transitie in Aruba, Curaçao, and St. Martin. This request is recorded under IS number 827, dated June 18, 2024, and can be found on the Parliament General Teams. The report, compiled by TNO of the Netherlands and registered under IS 833-2023-2024, also dated June 18, 2024, examines the state of the energy transition in the CAS countries, Curaçao, Aruba, and St. Martin. It includes findings relevant to accessing funds available through the SDE++ instrument for investments in renewable energies in these countries. Given the ongoing discussion about the current energy crisis and possible solutions, which were shared during the Central Committee meeting number 20 on June 17th and 25th, the request for this meeting has been honored to discuss the conclusions and findings of the report, hence this meeting today. Before I give the word to the Minister, I would like to give the floor to the requester of this meeting, MP Westcott-Williams, to elucidate on her request. MP Westcott-Williams, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady, and a good afternoon to my colleagues. A good afternoon to Minister Patrice Gomes and his support staff. Good afternoon to all tuned into this meeting. Madam Chair Lady, as you rightfully indicated, I had submitted this request as a request for an urgent meeting of the committee, and I indicated in my request the following: that this urgent meeting be convened because I would have liked the committee to hear from the minister and discuss the report called The Energie Transitie in Aruba, Curaçao, and St. Martin. This report, as you know, Madam Chair Lady, has been compiled by TNO, and it examines the state of the energy transition in the so-called CAS countries. Discussing the matter of GEBE in previous meetings, only sporadic mention was made of the Dutch funding programs which are available or could be made available to the Caribbean countries. And what concerned me was sort of a frequent annotation in these meetings that St. Martin's energy transition plan is needed to initiate talks with the Dutch government regarding available funding for alternative and renewable energy conversion. And what we picked up, at least what I picked up in these meetings, is that there is some reluctance to pursue an energy transition program at this time due to the magnitude of the energy crisis that the country is currently facing. I believe that any discussion with the Dutch government or any other institution for that matter regarding assistance in dealing with our energy crisis is going to be asking for and or looking at the plans for energy transition. And that's why I thought that this report is kind of timely as we are where we are today. So we do have several studies and reports that touch on the matter of energy transition, such as by the government of St. Martin Grid Market, by GEBE, Energy Nautics, and as I mentioned, the report of TNO. So, Madam Chair Lady, my objective for this meeting is that we can bring all of this together somehow and get a clear view going forward how we are going to deal with the matter of energy transition, renewable and alternative energy, even now in the crisis that we're facing with your regular energy supply. I can't see the two separated, and I would like to hear from the minister his thoughts. Of course, I acknowledge the fact that the minister has just recently been able to really sink his teeth into the matter, but knowing the minister and you know, his involvement, otherwise, I am sure that he can give us his view on.
Thank you, MP Westcott Williams. Before I give the floor to the minister, I just want to make two brief notifications. Firstly, we received notice of lateness from MP Irion. And secondly, the TNO report itself was sent when this meeting was first scheduled to be held, which I believe was the 21st of June. So all members of the committee received it by email, and it is also in the general teams, as I mentioned earlier, under IS 833, we received June 18th in Parliament in incoming documents. So just as a note for members of the committee that the TNO report is available to the members of Parliament via general teams. At this time, I would like to give the floor to the Minister of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment and Infrastructure, Mr. Patrice Gomes, for some introductory remarks and a presentation, as I see, is on the screen. Minister, you have the floor.
Members of Parliament, listeners in the Tribune, online viewers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Let me first thank the Chair for the invitation to address for the first time this Parliament as Minister of ROMI.
Excuse me, sorry, Minister. We have to adjourn for 5 minutes due to a technical hiccup.